Welcome to the 5 W's of KinderTEK reports. In this webinar, we will look at the who, what, where, why, and how of KinderTEK reporting. There are 2 places you can access to view KinderTEK reports. One place is the KinderTEK app on the iPad. From there, you can manage settings and view student reports. However, KinderTEK offers a more flexible and robust option through our online data dashboard. Using this online feature of KinderTEK, you can access group and class level data and reports in addition to student level reports. You can also create and manage groups more efficiently. We're going to take a closer look at the reports on the KinderTEK app as well as the online data dashboard. So in addition to having an iPad with the KinderTEK app available during this webinar, please log into the KinderTEK data dashboard online. Although you can use a browser on an iPad, another option is to open a second browser window on your computer. Go to KinderTEK.com and log in with the same user ID and password you used to log into KinderTEK on the iPad. You can pause this presentation while you log in or continue if you're already there. The KinderTEK team has created a variety of reports that provide useful and timely information for you and the many users and stakeholders of KinderTEK. Teachers will find this information useful when planning curriculum to meet students' needs, in conjunction with a teaching team to set up ability level work groups, for feedback on student or class goals, when conferencing with parents and families, and for end-of-the-year reporting. Parents enjoy seeing how their student is progressing through the kindergarten curriculum. Instructional coaches can use this information to support the teaching staff in meeting the math goals for students. Instructional assistants can view the reports in conjunction with teachers to better understand the instructional plans and needs of students in groups. Principals can see how different classes in their schools are progressing in using the program. Even students can see their progress on the app at the end of their KinderTEK session when they enter their reward time. You are probably most familiar with the student level reports available to you on the iPad. You can access these reports through the Manage User buttons on the welcome screen and logging into the app. After logging in, you will see a student list on the left side of the screen and student details on the right. Touching a name displays the details for that student. 4 progress bars, one for each mode, displays the total time spent in each mode as well as identifying the current mode that the student uses. Sequenced, exploration, and directed modes display the number of activities mastered in that mode. Screening mode displays the number of activities tested and how many activities were skipped. Skipped activities are activities that students have attempted 3 times without success, and KinderTEK automatically moves the student to a new activity to maintain interest, engagement, and success. The progress bars give you an overview of the student's experience, with light green showing activities mastered in the pretest, dark green, not shown here, showing activities mastered in KinderTEK, orange showing activities in progress, and red showing activities skipped. Touching on a progress bar opens an activity detail report, shown here. This activity detail report lists each KinderTEK activity and indicates whether it was mastered, in progress, skipped, in review, or not started. Touching on a specific activity opens a pop-up window showing more detail of the time it took the student to progress through each phase and example set for that activity. Pause this presentation and go to Manage Users on your iPad. Select a high-performing student and review their progress, then select a few activities to view in more detail. Then select a struggling student and review their progress and view a few in-progress activities and a few skipped activities. Continue the presentation when you're done. Students regularly see visual displays of their progress and success in KinderTEK on the first page of their scrapbook. Progress and mastery of KinderTEK activities is represented by yellow stars earned for every 5 KinderTEK skills mastered. The caterpillar along the top right gets longer as students complete more KinderTEK activities. Below the stars is a graph of rewards earned and another graph of how well the student engaged during their time in KinderTEK. The space to the right of the graphs show each activity icon in KinderTEK with unlocked and mastered activities in full color and activities not encountered washed out. Notice that the KinderTEK reports on the iPad only allow you to look at reports and data at the individual student level. Now let's look at the reporting options available through the Online Data Dashboard, where you can view class-level data and reports in addition to the student level. The Data Dashboard offers multiple options for viewing reports at the classroom level in addition to the student level. You can see the same student-level reports available to you on the iPad. However, you can also see several classroom-level reports summarizing student progress across KinderTEK activities, class-level information related to use and mastery, and class-wide progress aligned with the Common Core state standards in math. When you log in, you will land on your class page showing all of your students in your class. This page allows you to see everyone's progress at a glance. The column to the right of the student's name summarizes student engagement and their most recent day of KinderTEK use. Values reflect the percentage of responses the student initiated within the time allotted for response. This percentage is a good indicator of a student's attentiveness and engagement in the app. The remaining columns display the progress bars that match what you see in Manage Users in the iPad app, and they're color-coded in the same way to show how many activities the student has mastered in the pretest, mastered in the learning phase of KinderTEK, activities in progress, and skipped activities for each mode. Below the Activity Progress bar, you'll see the total number of minutes each student has spent in each mode in KinderTEK. If you compare time and progress, you'll notice that some students spend a lot of time learning from just a few activities, whereas others move really quickly through many activities and take far less time to fill up their progress bar. In sequence mode, we would expect students who already know a lot of math to have a lot of light green showing activities mastered in pretest, as well as demonstrating good progress with yellow in progress bars and green mastered bars. In contrast, students who struggle with math may have very little or no light green activities mastered in the pretest. Look for these students to have yellow in progress bars and green mastered bars, indicating that they're learning and making progress in KinderTEK. Red bars should be noted, as this means a student has had multiple opportunities to learn and master a particular skill but has yet to be successful. It may be helpful to check in with these students to identify barriers to progress. Pause this presentation and go to the Online Data Dashboard. Examine the summary data for your class. Note which students have mastered many KinderTEK activities in the pretest, the light green bars. Also note students who are making good progress in KinderTEK, those with dark green bars showing mastered activities and yellow bars showing in progress activities. Finally, note students who may be struggling, noting low engagement rates and red progress bars, indicating activities the student was unable to master after 3 attempts and therefore skipped. Continue the presentation when you are done. You can examine individual student data in more detail by clicking on a name. This takes you to the student page, which displays their name, school, teacher, passcode, last activity, current activity, and number of activities mastered. Further down, you'll see the Explore Details bar. Here you can view more detail of progress and place statistics. Activities within up to 3 possible tracks are shown by color-coded blocks. Hovering over a block reveals the name of the activity. Additional statistics for the student are summarized in this section. This same data appears whenever you click on an individual student in any of the reports. This view summarizes student use and status in KinderTEK. The last 2 items, % of KinderTEK activities mastered and % of KinderTEK activities encountered, provides a good picture of student mastery and their KinderTEK experience to date, as well as how far along the student is in completing KinderTEK. Clicking on the brown bars will expand or collapse details for each type of report. If you expand the brown Activity Details bar, you'll see this report is organized by continents that correspond to the different clusters of Common Core standards. This is the same progress report you see in the Manage User section on the iPad. If you expand the Common Core cluster details, it displays the student's progress relative to the number of activities aligned with the various Common Core math standards taught in KinderTEK. Pause this presentation. From the Classroom Summary page, select a student to view in more detail. Click on Settings to see details of the student's KinderTEK experience. Click on Reports and review Explorer details. Hover over the blocks on the progress bars to see which activities were mastered in pretest, mastered in KinderTEK, in progress, or skipped. Continue the presentation when you are done. Let's go back to the class page and look at the other reports that KinderTEK has made available to you. Clicking on the Reports tab will reveal 3 report options for viewing progress: Activity Status, Use and Mastery, and Standard Status. Let's look at these reports in more detail. From your class page, click on the Activity Status report. Take a moment to look at how the Activity Status report is organized and read the column headers. At the top, progress status is summarized for the entire class. The rest of the page shows the progress status for individual students. Colored labels help you see at a glance how students are progressing through KinderTEK content. Each activity is labeled with the KinderTEK activity name and the Common Core state standard with which it's aligned. Scrolling horizontally across the page shows the progress status for all 51 activities in KinderTEK. This report can only show data for one KinderTEK mode at a time. If you look in the upper corner of the report, you can see that this data is for sequenced mode. To view this report for another mode, select it from the drop-down menu. Pause this presentation and find the Activity Status report for your class. Check that you have the mode selected that you want to view. Analyze student status for a few of the activities by selecting a column and view the data vertically. Notice which students have mastered the activity in pretest, in KinderTEK, or are in progress, or the activity was skipped or not encountered. Does this match what you expected to see? Now select 2 or 3 students and view their progress horizontally across activities. Again, ask yourself, does this match what you expected to see? Are there students or activities that you would like to follow up with? Continue the presentation when you're done. Now click on the Use and Mastery report from the drop-down Report menu. We marked this page as under construction as we're refining the details of this report, so you may see some slight variation when you look at your own Use and Mastery report. Like the previous reports, you can use the drop-down menu at the top to select the mode you want to view. The class summary data at the top shows average number and range of minutes and days that the class used KinderTEK. Total number and percent of KinderTEK activities mastered and encountered by the class are also displayed. Individual students' data is displayed below the class averages. This data can be particularly helpful if your class is using KinderTEK independently, as you can monitor individual progress relative to the class as a whole. This report page also gives quick access to individual student note pages. These are the same notes that you made and see on the iPad. To read student notes or make a new student note, click on the Read Notes link in the right-hand column. Pause this presentation and find the Use and Mastery report for your class. Check that you've selected the mode that you want to view. For each column, minutes used, days used, total activities mastered, percent of KinderTEK mastered, and percent of KinderTEK encountered, look at which students had the highest values and which ones had the lowest values. Are there adjustments that you can make to KinderTEK to better support students with the lowest values? Continue this presentation when you are done. Finally, click on the Standard Status Report from the drop-down Report menu. Use the drop-down menu at the top to select the mode you want to view. This report organizes KinderTEK activities by Common Core state standards aligned with the 10 standards that KinderTEK addresses. Similar to the activity report, this report shows progress and mastery status, but now is displayed by standard with class summary at the top and individual student data below. Because standards are represented by more than one KinderTEK activity, you'll see more standards labeled Not Encountered than in the other reports. Hovering over a blue number in the header reveals the Common Core State Standard objective. This report allows you to determine which students already knew a standard when they encountered it and which standards are mastered, skipped, or have yet to be encountered. This report can be useful when organizing student groups for standard-based activities, partnering students for peer learning experiences, and determining how individual students or your class are progressing towards meeting the kindergarten standards in math. Again, pause this presentation and find the Standard Status Report for your class. Check that you have the mode selected that you want to view. Note how this report differs from the Activity Status Report. Are there standards that your class has mastered in KinderTEK? Are there standards that students have yet to encounter? Continue this presentation when you are done. It's easy to export or print KinderTEK reports right from your data dashboard. First, refresh the report page to ensure that you are exporting the most up-to-date progress. Do this by selecting the blue Refresh Reports button. Next, click on the Export CSV button to export data to a CSV file for use in Excel or another data program. Finally, click on the Print button at the top right of each report to print a PDF of the report you're currently viewing. Chrome and Safari browsers produce nicely formatted printed reports. Firefox does not always work well for this task. In addition to the reporting features we've shared, your KinderTEK Pro Data Dashboard allows you to access a variety of class and student management tools. From here, you can create and manage student groups, view or print student passcodes, or settings for the entire class. From your class page, you have the option of adding students individually or in bulk. Click on the Add Student or Add Students in Bulk in the upper right of your KinderTEK Pro Data Dashboard. Each button will bring up a screen with a different set of directions. Keep in mind, though, when adding students in bulk, the student list must be in CSV format. That stands for comma-separated values, and this can be generated in Excel with the Save As feature. Choose Save As and then the CSV file format. You will also find it useful to access student passcodes by clicking on the link at the top. On this screen, you can verify student passcodes and/or print passcodes. You can also change a passcode by clicking on a student name. This will take you to their student page where you can click on the passcode picture to make edits. Selecting class settings takes you to this menu and allows you to select the learning mode and session duration for all students in your class rather than setting these features for each student on the iPad. Once you adjust this setting, it will apply to every student in your class. You can, however, adjust an individual student setting on the iPad. We hope this webinar will help you use the data and reporting options to implement KinderTEK more effectively and efficiently with your students. Check out our library of resources or contact us if you have questions at our KinderTEK website.